She hasn't texted you in 11 days. You've checked your phone 40 times today, and every single time, that little flicker of hope dies a little faster than the last. You're telling yourself she's moved on. You're telling yourself she never cared. You're telling yourself this silence means you lost. You're wrong. And I don't say that to comfort you. I say it because I know something about female psychology that almost nobody explains correctly, and it's going to change the way you see every hour of this silence. Her not texting you is not the absence of feeling. In most cases, it's the presence of something far more complicated, something she can't even admit to herself yet. So what is actually happening in her mind during the silence? Stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll never panic check your phone the same way again. If you're watching this at 2 a.m. with your phone brightness turned all the way down so it doesn't wake anyone up, this is for you. If you've reread the last conversation you had with her so many times you could recite it backward, this is for you. If part of you is furious that you even care this much, this is for you too. I'm not going to tell you to just move on or there's plenty of fish in the sea. That advice is worthless, and honestly, it's a little insulting. You're not grieving a fish. You're grieving a person who mattered, and pretending that pain isn't real doesn't make it go away. It just makes you feel more alone with it. Here's what I actually want to do in the next 20 minutes. I want to walk you through the real psychology of what's happening on her side of the silence. Not the version your anxiety is writing at 3 a.m., but the version backed by how attachment and identity actually work in the female brain during a separation. Then I'm going to give you the exact behavioral steps that work with that psychology instead of against it. And finally, I'm going to talk about the mindset that separates the men who come out of this stronger from the men who spend the next 2 years still checking her Instagram story views. Here's my promise to you. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why the silence feels unbearable, why almost every instinct you have right now is the wrong one, and what to do instead that actually respects both her psychology and your own dignity. 2 things I want to plant in your mind right now, because I'll come back to them. First, there is a specific moment, psychologically, when a woman's memory of you shifts from the guy who hurt me to the guy I miss. Most men destroy that shift before it can happen, without ever knowing they did it. I'll show you exactly how, and exactly how to avoid it. Second, there's a concept in psychology called ego protection, and it explains almost everything confusing about how women behave after a breakup, including the specific way she talks about you to her friends right now. It's not what you think. I'll get to that too. For now, understand this. Everything I'm about to tell you is not about tricks, manipulation, or making her want you back. It's about understanding what's actually true, so you stop torturing yourself with stories that aren't. Because right now, you're not just fighting the breakup, you're fighting a version of events your own anxiety invented, and that fight is exhausting you for nothing. Let's get into what's really happening in her mind. Here's what most men believe. Silence means she's over it. No text back means no feelings left. If she really cared, she'd reach out. That belief feels logical. It's also almost always wrong. And understanding why is going to save you from making the exact mistake that kills your chances of a healthy resolution, whether that means getting her back or simply healing enough to move forward with dignity. Let's start with attachment theory, because it explains more about this silence than anything else. When 2 people build any real emotional bond, their nervous systems begin to sync. Psychologists call this co-regulation. You literally became a source of nervous system stability for her, and she for you. When that bond breaks, it's not just an emotional loss, it's a physiological disruption. Her body is going through something closer to withdrawal than indifference. So why doesn't she text you if she's struggling too? This is where ego protection comes in. After a breakup, especially one she initiated, or one where she feels she got hurt, a woman's brain works overtime to protect her sense of self. Reaching out first can feel, to her nervous system, like handing back control she just fought hard to reclaim. It's not that she doesn't feel the pull, it's that responding to the pull feels like a threat to the version of herself she's rebuilding right now. Let me give you a real scenario, because this is where it clicks for most guys. Picture a woman named Sarah. 3 weeks after ending things, she deletes your photos from her phone in one dramatic, decisive night. Her friends cheer her on. She posts something upbeat the next day, looking radiant, looking free. You see it, and it wrecks you, because it looks like proof she's completely over you. Here's what you don't see. That same night, after the photos are gone and the friends have left, she lies in bed scrolling through your old conversation, the one she didn't delete because some part of her wasn't ready to. She's not doing this because she wants you back yet. She's doing it because her brain is still processing a loss her actions are trying to outrun. That contradiction, performing over it while privately still processing, isn't fake. It's cognitive dissonance in real time. Two competing truths sitting inside the same person. I need to protect myself, and I miss what we had. Most men only ever see the first truth, because it's the one she's forced to perform in public. You are almost never shown the second one, because showing it feels dangerous to her right now. This is also why the "she seems totally fine" spiral is so misleading. Fine, on the outside, especially early on, often means working very hard to seem fine, not actually fine. Now here's the part that matters even more than her psychology. Yours. Every time you check her story views, every time you almost text just to see how she's doing, every time you replay the breakup looking for the sentence that would have fixed everything, you are feeding your own nervous system the exact chemical loop that keeps you stuck. Anticipation, disappointment, anticipation, disappointment. That loop is not romantic, it's biological, and it will not resolve itself while you're the one still pulling the trigger on it. So if silence doesn't mean she never cared, and it doesn't mean she's definitely coming back either, what does it actually mean? And more importantly, what do you do with that information? That's what we're covering next. Because understanding her psychology without changing your behavior is just a more sophisticated way of staying stuck. Here's what you actually do. Not theory, action. Step 1. You go completely silent, and you mean it. Not silent unless she texts first. Not silent except for one perfectly worded message you've been drafting for a week. Full stop. No contact means no contact. Here's the psychology behind why this works. Remember what I said about ego protection. Her brain is actively trying to rebuild a sense of control after the relationship ended. Every message you send, even a kind one, even a no-pressure one, hands her nervous system something to react against. It keeps her in defense mode. Silence removes the thing she's defending against. And when there's nothing to defend against, that second truth, the one underneath the performance, has room to surface. The most common mistake here is what I call the closure message. You write something long, honest, vulnerable, explaining everything you feel, hoping it'll land as maturity. It rarely does. In the moment, it almost always reads as pressure, and pressure resets the ego protection response right back to maximum. You think you're demonstrating growth. She experiences it as a demand for a reaction. Save that letter. Don't send it. Step 2. You rebuild your own nervous system baseline, deliberately, not passively. This isn't get a haircut and hit the gym as a cliche. This is specific. Your body has been running on a stress and craving loop since the breakup, and that loop needs to be interrupted with actual physiological regulation. Sleep, exercise, sunlight, real food, real human contact with friends who aren't going to let you talk about her for 3 hours straight. Why this matters for her psychology, not just yours. People are extremely sensitive to nervous system state in others, even remotely, even through secondhand information. If a mutual friend mentions you seem shaken and desperate, that reinforces her ego protection instinct. She stays guarded. If she hears, even in passing, that you seem calm and are doing well, it does something different. It removes the thing she was bracing for. Calm is not a performance for her benefit. It's a genuine shift that happens to be visible. The common mistake, performing calm on social media while falling apart privately. This doesn't work because you're not actually regulating anything. You're just adding an audience to your anxiety. Do the internal work first. The external calm will follow honestly instead of looking staged because people can tell the difference. Step 3. You get specific about what you're actually grieving. Most men grieve an idealized version of the relationship. The highlight reel, not the whole picture. This step is uncomfortable, but it's the one that actually moves you forward instead of just numbing you. Sit down and write out, honestly, what wasn't working. Not to blame her, not to convince yourself you're better off. Just to see the relationship as it actually was, not as your nervous system is currently editing it to be. Here's the psychology. Your brain, in withdrawal, is doing something called positive memory bias. It's flooding you with the best moments and suppressing the harder ones, because that's what makes you crave reconnection. This is the same mechanism that makes people miss relationships that were genuinely unhealthy. You're not weak for missing her. You're neurologically wired to miss a version of events that isn't fully accurate. The common mistake, skipping this step because it feels disloyal, like you're trashing something that mattered. You're not. You're correcting a distortion so you can make decisions from clarity instead of craving. Step 4. If reconnection happens, you let her lead the timing, but you control the tone. If she does reach out weeks or months from now, the instinct is to drop everything and respond exactly like the old you. Don't. Respond warm, brief, and unhurried. You're not playing games. You're demonstrating, through your actual behavior, that you're not the same anxious person who needed her validation to feel okay. That's not a trick. It has to be true, or it won't hold up past the first conversation. The common mistake, mistaking her reaching out as an invitation to fully reopen everything immediately. Slow down. Let it rebuild in real time, not in one desperate conversation trying to fix 6 weeks of silence in a single night. None of these 4 steps are about manipulation. Every one of them works because it's actually healthier for you and, if it comes to it, for the relationship. That's not a coincidence. The psychology that helps you heal is the same psychology that gives any reconnection an actual chance of being different this time. I want to talk to you now about the part nobody prepares you for, the waiting. Not the dramatic part, not the crying in your car part, the boring part, the Tuesday afternoon, 3 weeks in, when nothing is happening, nobody is texting anybody, and you're just sitting with it. That part is harder than the breakup itself for a lot of men, because at least the breakup had motion. This has none, and your mind, starved of information, will start manufacturing it. You'll wake up at 3 a.m. and build an entire story out of nothing. She's with someone else. She's already forgotten you. She's telling her friends you were the problem. None of that story is information. It's your nervous system trying to resolve uncertainty by inventing certainty, even bad certainty, because bad certainty feels more bearable than not knowing. I want you to notice that pattern next time it happens and just name it out loud if you have to. This is my anxiety writing fiction, not evidence. Here's the reframe I want you to sit with. You're treating this silence like it's empty time, wasted time, dead time, time you're just enduring until something happens. It's not. This is the exact period where you either become someone who needs her to feel whole, or someone who wanted her while already being whole on his own. Those are 2 completely different men, and only one of them is actually attractive, to her or to anyone else. Not because chasing is unattractive. That's the shallow version, because a person who has rebuilt their own stability is simply a different, steadier presence to be around. That's not a tactic. That's just true. The silence isn't the enemy of the process. It is the process. Every day you don't send the message, you're not losing ground. You're proving to your own nervous system, in a way words never could, that you can survive without her validating you in real time. That proof compounds. It's the difference between telling yourself you're okay and, actually, physiologically, becoming someone who is. I'm not going to tell you this is easy, and I'm not going to tell you there's a guaranteed outcome where she comes back and everything resolves like the ending of a movie. Sometimes the healthiest ending is that you both grow into people better suited to other partners. I'd be lying to you if I promised otherwise, and you've had enough people lying to you already. What I can tell you is this. The version of you that comes out the other side of doing this correctly, regulated, clear-eyed, no longer performing calm but actually holding it, that version of you is going to be better off regardless of what she decides. Not as a consolation prize, as the actual point. So the next time it's 3 a.m. and your thumb is hovering over her name, I want you to remember what's actually happening underneath that urge. It's not love asking to be expressed. It's your nervous system asking for relief from uncertainty. Those feel identical in the moment. They are not the same thing. Give the urge 30 seconds. Name it. Let it pass. It will pass, every single time, if you let it instead of feeding it. You didn't come this far to undo it in 1-2 a.m. text. If this helped you see the silence differently, even a little, do one thing for me. Hit subscribe, because I'm covering the next stage of this, what to actually do if and when she does reach back out, in detail. And drop a comment telling me how many days of no contact you're on right now, not to perform it for anyone, just so you can look back at that number in a month and see how far you've actually come.